You wake up tired, even after 8 hours of sleep. You've tried setting goals, you've read the books, you've even downloaded those productivity apps. But 3 months later, you're still stuck in the same patterns, watching your potential slip away. What if you could completely transform your life in just 90 days, using a routine so simple, anyone can do it?
In this video, I'll share the exact 7-step daily routine used by peak performers and backed by behavioral science that will rewire your brain and transform your reality in the next 3 months. Let's get started.
I discovered this routine after studying the habits of over 200 high achievers and analyzing research from MIT and Stanford on behavioral change. The problem is, most people focus on massive overnight changes that fail within 2 weeks. Research shows that 92% of New Year's resolutions fail because people try to change everything at once. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use the compound effect of small daily actions to create exponential results. Let's dive in. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people start their day in reactive mode, immediately checking their phones and letting the world dictate their mental state. The 5-minute morning mind reset is a simple practice you do within the first 10 minutes of waking up, before touching your phone or talking to anyone. It combines 3 micro habits, 10 deep breaths, visualizing one goal as already achieved, and stating 3 specific things you're grateful for out loud. Research from the University of California found that the first hour after waking determines your stress hormones for the entire day. When you grab your phone immediately, you spike cortisol by 23% within minutes. This practice does the opposite. The visualization activates your reticular activating system, which is basically your brain's search engine for opportunities. By imagining your goal as complete, your subconscious starts finding ways to make it real. The gratitude practice reduces activity in your amygdala, the fear center, by up to 30%, according to UCLA neuroscience studies. First, set your alarm 10 minutes earlier than usual. Keep your phone across the room, not on your nightstand. Second, sit on the edge of your bed and take 10 slow breaths, counting to 4 on the inhale and 6 on the exhale. Third, close your eyes and spend 2 minutes visualizing yourself having already achieved your main 90-day goal. See it in first person. Feel the emotions. Notice specific details. Fourth, say out loud 3 specific things you're grateful for. Not generic stuff like my family, but specific moments. I'm grateful for the hot shower I'm about to take. Or I'm grateful my legs work and I can walk today. The mistake people make is trying to do this for 30 minutes. 5 minutes is the sweet spot. You can sustain it daily for 90 days without resistance. But that's not all. This next habit is what separates dreamers from achievers. Most people don't know this, but having too many goals is worse than having no goals at all. The one-goal rule means selecting exactly one primary goal for your 90-day period and making every other goal subordinate to it. This doesn't mean you ignore everything else in life, but you identify the one transformation that, if achieved, would make the biggest impact on your life right now. Stanford researcher B.J. Fogg proved that willpower is a finite resource. Every decision you make depletes it. When you're chasing 5 different goals, your brain experiences what's called goal competition, where neural resources fight against each other. Studies from the Dominican University of California show that people who focus on one primary goal are 400% more likely to achieve it compared to those juggling multiple goals. This happens because of the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain obsesses over incomplete tasks, but only if they're clear and singular. When you have 10 goals, your brain gives up trying to track them all. Think of it like sunlight versus a laser. Both are light, but a laser focuses all energy on one point and can cut through steel. Your scattered attention is sunlight. Your one-goal focus becomes a laser. First, write down all the goals you have floating in your head. Second, Ask yourself this question for each one. If I could only achieve one of these in the next 90 days, which would create the most positive ripple effect in my life? Third, circle that one. That's your primary goal. Fourth, take all your other goals and categorize them as either supporting goals that help your primary goal, or maintenance goals that you just need to keep stable. For example, if your primary goal is land my dream job, then network with 3 industry people per week is a supporting goal, while go to the gym 3 times per week is a maintenance goal. Here's the common mistake. People make their maintenance goals as demanding as their primary goal. Don't do that. For maintenance goals, aim for the minimum effective dose. You're protecting them, not optimizing them. Save your optimization energy for your one goal. Now let's talk about something even more powerful that most people completely overlook. This next one is crucial, because this is where theory becomes reality. Your daily non-negotiable action is the one specific task you commit to doing every single day for 90 days that directly moves your primary goal forward. It must be concrete, take 15 to 60 minutes, and be completable regardless of circumstances. There's a fascinating study from University College London that followed people building new habits. They found it takes an average of 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. But here's the key. Missing even one day increased the time to automaticity by up to 7 days. This is why the don't break the chain method, popularized by Jerry Seinfeld, is so powerful. When you do something every single day, your identity starts to shift. You're no longer someone trying to write. You're a writer. This identity shift, which psychologists call identity-based motivation, is 3 times more powerful than outcome-based motivation. Your brain loves patterns and consistency. When you miss days randomly, your brain categorizes the behavior as optional. When you do it daily, your brain recategorizes it as essential, like brushing your teeth. You stop negotiating with yourself. First, based on your one goal, identify the single most impactful activity you could do daily. If your goal is write a book, your daily non-negotiable might be write 500 words. If it's get fit, it might be do 20 minutes of exercise. Second, make it stupidly specific. Not work on my goal, but send 2 job applications or study Spanish for 30 minutes. Third, schedule it at the same time every day. Habit research shows that time-based cues are stronger than situation-based cues. Fourth, use the minimum viable version principle. Commit to the smallest version you could do even on your worst day. Instead of write 500 words, make your non-negotiable write 100 words. You can always do more, but you must do the minimum. Here's the mistake people make. They make their daily non-negotiable too ambitious. I'll work on my goal for 3 hours every day. Then life happens, they miss a day, the chain breaks, and they quit. Start smaller than feels necessary. You can increase it after 30 days. But here's where most people sabotage themselves without realizing it. You might be thinking, another thing to add to my routine? Trust me, this 10-minute practice is what separates people who complete transformations from those who quit halfway. The evening audit is a simple 10-minute reflection you do before bed, where you answer 4 specific questions in a journal. Did I complete my daily non-negotiable? What moved me closer to my goal today? What pulled me away from my goal today? And what's my commitment for tomorrow? Harvard Business School research on learning found that people who spent 15 minutes reflecting at the end of the day performed 23% better than those who just kept working. This is because reflection activates what neuroscientists call consolidation, where your brain processes experiences into learnable patterns. When you audit your day, you're essentially telling your brain, pay attention to these patterns. Your reticular activating system then becomes hyper-aware of obstacles and opportunities related to your goal. This is why successful people often say, I started seeing opportunities everywhere. They didn't magically appear. Their brain just got trained to notice them. The evening audit also leverages loss aversion. Behavioral economics shows we're motivated more by avoiding losses than gaining wins. When you have to write, "No, I didn't complete my daily non-negotiable," that psychological discomfort is a powerful motivator for the next day. First, set a phone reminder for 9 p.m. or 2 hours before bed, whichever comes first. Second, grab a dedicated notebook or open a notes app on your PH. Physical writing is better because it enhances memory consolidation, but digital is fine if you'll actually do it. Third, answer all 4 questions honestly. This isn't about self-judgment. If you didn't complete your non-negotiable, just write why without excuse-making. "I prioritize scrolling social media instead" is more useful than "I was too busy." Fourth, end with a specific commitment for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will complete my daily non-negotiable at this specific time. For instance, instead of "I'll try to wake up earlier," write "I will wake up at 6 a.m. and complete my morning routine before checking my phone." The mistake people make is being vague or writing paragraphs. Keep each answer to 1 to 3 sentences. This should take 10 minutes maximum, or you won't sustain it for 90 days. This brings me to the next secret, and it's one that most productivity gurus won't tell you. Now here's where it gets interesting. Daily consistency is essential, but without weekly perspective, you'll optimize yourself into the wrong direction. The weekly reset is a 30-minute session every Sunday, or your chosen day, where you review your entire week, celebrate wins, identify patterns, adjust your approach, and plan the upcoming week with your one goal as the filter. Research from the Journal of Applied Psychology shows that people who do weekly reviews are 33% more likely to achieve long-term goals compared to those who only track daily. This works because of 2 psychological principles: the peak-end rule and pattern recognition. The peak-end rule means you remember experiences based on their most intense moment and their ending. When you review your week, you see patterns that individual days hide. You might notice, every time I skip my morning routine, I'm less productive all day, or I always make progress on Tuesdays because I have fewer meetings. This pattern R, e-cognition, allows you to engineer your environment. Knowing Tuesday is your power day, you schedule your most important work then. This is called strategic self-awareness, and it's how top performers seem to have superhuman discipline. They don't. They just know their patterns and work with them, not against them. First, block 30 minutes on your calendar every Sunday morning. Protect this time like a doctor's appointment. Second, review your daily audits from the past 7 days. Look for patterns in what worked and what didn't. Third, answer these specific questions. Did I complete my daily non-negotiable at least 6 out of 7 days? You get 1 grace day per week. What obstacles repeatedly showed up? What strategies worked this week? Am I still focused on my one goal, or did I get distracted? Fourth, plan your upcoming week by scheduling your daily non-negotiable into specific time blocks. Don't just intend to do it. Put it in your calendar like a meeting. Fifth, identify 1 small adjustment to test next week based on your patterns. Maybe move your daily non-negotiable from evening to morning, or you add a 5-minute buffer before it to transition. The common mistake here is turning this into a 3-hour overthinking session. Use a timer. 30 minutes is enough to gain clarity without spiraling into analysis paralysis. You're adjusting your approach, not redesigning your entire life each week. But wait, there's more to this. This next step is what prevents burnout. Most people don't know this, but rest is not the opposite of productivity. It's a component of it. The strategic recovery day is 1 full day per week, scheduled in advance, where you intentionally do 0 work toward your goal. You don't check email, you don't just quickly do your daily non-negotiable, you completely disconnect and engage in genuine rest or play. There's groundbreaking. NG research from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden that tracked athletes' performance. They found that those who took strategic rest days performed 17% better than those who trained every single day. The reason? Adaptation happens during recovery, not during effort. Your brain works the same way as muscles. When you work on your goal, you're creating tiny tears in your neural pathways. During rest, your brain repairs those pathways and makes them stronger. This is called consolidation. Without it, you're just creating damage without growth. There's also a psychological benefit. Research from Stanford shows that people who schedule guilt-free rest are 2.5 times less likely to burn out and quit their goals. When you know you have a recovery day coming, you can push harder on the other 6 days without resentment building up. First, choose your strategic recovery day right now. For most people, Saturday or Sunday works best. If you work weekends, choose a weekday. Mark it on your calendar for all 13 weeks of your 90-day period. Second, plan what you'll do on that day. This isn't a lazy day where you accidentally scroll social media for 8 hours and feel worse. It's intentional rejuvenation. Schedule activities that genuinely restore you: hiking, playing with your kids, reading fiction, cooking an elaborate meal, seeing friends. Third, create a physical or digital boundary. If you work on a laptop, close it and put it in a closet on recovery days. If your goal involves your phone, turn off related apps or use app blockers. The mistake people make is light work on recovery days. I'll just check my email for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes destroys the psychological break. For instance, if you're building a business, recovery day means 0 customer emails, 0 strategizing, 0 quick tasks. You're training your nervous system that safety and rest exist, which paradoxically makes you more capable of sustained effort the other 6 days. Now, let's talk about the final piece that brings everything together. This is crucial, because most people quit right before the transformation becomes visible. The 306,090 milestone system involves setting 3 specific checkpoints in your 90-day journey, where you measure concrete progress, celebrate achievements, and recommit to the next phase. These aren't arbitrary dates. They're strategically chosen based on habit formation research. University College London's habit research identified 3 distinct phases in behavior change. Days 1 to 30 are the friction phase where everything feels hard and unnatural. Days 31 to 60 are the integration phase where the behavior starts feeling normal but still requires conscious effort. Days 61 to 90 are the automaticity phase where the behavior becomes part of your identity. By setting milestones at these transition points, you're acknowledging the psychological reality of change. You're not expecting linear progress. Most people quit during the friction phase because they think it should feel easier. When you know day 20 is supposed to feel hard, you don't interpret difficulty as failure. The celebration component is backed by dopamine research from Stanford. When you acknowledge progress, your brain releases dopamine, which reinforces the behavior loop. Without celebration, your brain doesn't encode the win, and you lose motivational fuel. First, define specific, measurable outcomes for each milestone, not vague things like make progress, but concrete evidence. For a fitness goal, day 30, complete all 30 workouts. Day 60, increase weights by 20%. Day 90, run a 5K or fit into size 32 jeans. Second, on day 30, day 60, and day 90, conduct a formal check-in. Review all your daily audits and weekly resets from that period. Write down every single win, no matter how small. I completed my daily non-negotiable 27 out of 30 days is a huge win, even if it's not perfect. Third, genuinely celebrate. This doesn't mean throwing a party, though you can. It means acknowledging the difficulty and honoring your commitment. Tell someone who supports you what you achieved. Buy yourself something meaningful. Take yourself out for a nice meal. Your brain needs to feel that completing hard things leads to reward. Fourth, adjust your approach for the next 30-day phase based on what you learned. Maybe your daily non-negotiable time needs to shift, or you discovered that Thursday is consistently your hardest day and need to build in extra support. The mistake people make is only celebrating day 90. That's too far away. You need psychological wins at 30 and 60 to maintain motivation through the hard middle section. Also, don't celebrate by abandoning your routine. I did great for 30 days, so I'll take a week off destroys momentum. Celebrate in addition to your routine, not instead of it. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Number 1, the 5-minute morning mind reset to control your mental state. Number 2, the 1-goal rule to focus all your energy. Number 3, the daily non-negotiable action to build identity-level change. Number 4, the evening audit to learn from every day. Number 5, the weekly reset to maintain strategic perspective. Number 6, the strategic recovery day to prevent burnout. Number 7, the 30-60-90 milestone system to celebrate progress and adjust. Remember, transformation isn't about motivation or willpower. It's about designing a system so simple and sustainable that you can't fail if you just show up daily. You have everything you need to completely change your life in the next 90 days. The only difference between who you are today and who you could be 90 days from now is whether you start this routine tomorrow morning. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until life calms down. It won't. Start with just the 5-minute morning mind reset tomorrow morning. Build from there. I promise you 90 days from now, when you look back at this moment, you'll thank yourself for starting. If you found this helpful, smash that like button so this reaches more people who need it. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more life-changing routines and self-improvement strategies like this. Drop a comment telling me what your one goal for the next 90 days is going to be. I read every comment, and I'll be cheering you on. And if you want to learn the exact morning routines of billionaires and how to implement them, check out that video next. It's the perfect companion to this 90-day system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go transform your life.